Hello guys, JoeyFreeze here. Welcome back to another video of Life is Strange. This is going to be a bonus episode because I'm done the game. I just finished last week. And yeah, in this bonus episode, I was going to go over the journal entries. And I also thought that maybe I should also go over the alternate ending, which we didn't get to see. So I'm just going to get that out of the way first. The alternate ending is basically when Max kisses Chloe before you sacrifice her. In the ending we got, they just hugged, but apparently there's a better ending, I guess a good ending, that we didn't get, and it's that one. So I'm in my other save file, and I've gotten this ending before. Like this was a few years back when I played the game, basically for the first time, and apparently I got it that time, but not in our playthrough, which is unfortunate. We'll find out why. I'll go through some of my choices I made, but I'm gonna take you to the ending now.
Max, this is the only way. I feel like I took the shot 1,000 years ago. You could use that photo to change everything right back to when you took that picture. All that would take is for me to...
Fuck that! No. No way. You are my #1 priority now. You are all that matters to me.
I know. You prove that over and over again. Even though I don't deserve it. I'm so selfish. Not like my mom. Look what she had to give up and live through. And she did. She deserves so much more than to be killed by a storm in a fucking diner. Even my stepfather deserves her alive. There's so many more people in Arcadia Bay who should live. Way more than me.
Don't say that. I won't trade you.
You're not trading me. Maybe you've just been delaying my real destiny. Look at how many times I've almost died or actually died around you. Look at what's happened in Arcadia Bay ever since you first saved me. I know I've been selfish, but for once, I think I should accept my fate. Our fate.
Chloe!
Max, you finally came back to me this week, and you did nothing but show me your love and friendship. You made me smile and laugh like I haven't done in years. Wherever I end up after this, in whatever reality, all those moments between us were real, and they'll always be ours. No matter what you choose, I know you'll make the right decision.
Chloe! I can't make this choice!
No, Max. You're the only one who can.
I gotta say, I hate watching the ending again. This is too sad for me. I already did this once, but we gotta just show the alternate ending, and for that to happen, we need to sacrifice Chloe. I'm not gonna show the entire ending, I'm just gonna show the part that we missed, or that we didn't get last time, really. So, sacrifice Chloe, unfortunately.
Max, it's time.
Chloe! I'm so sorry. I don't want to do this.
I know, Max. But we have to. We have to save everybody, okay? And you'll make those fuckers pay for what they did to Rachel. Being together this week, it was the best farewell gift I could have hoped for. You're my hero, Max.
Yeah, there it is.
I'll always love you. Now get out of here, please. Do it before I freak. And Max Caulfield, Don't you forget about me. Never.
Alright, so that was the ending right there, that alternate ending. It's just a very... It's just a small added scene, and I gotta say, it kind of packs a little bit of a bigger punch than the other one we got, where they didn't kiss, but... Yeah, that was it, and I feel like I'm gonna go over the choices that I made differently to get that ending. So, alright, yeah. Starting with episode 1. Reported Nathan, comforted Victoria, intervened. This is what I did different up here. My head is in the way, but I took the blame for Chloe. And I didn't go in the closet. I was just standing out there, and David just walks in, and Max is already just standing right next to Chloe. And then Chloe tries to forward the blame to you. Like, she's like, oh, that's not my weed, it's Max's. And you have the decision, either to be like, yeah, it's my weed, or no, it's not mine, and you blame Chloe. So I took the blame, and I feel like that's one of the big decisions that kind of goes into that ending. Next. I don't think these matter. I think it's the big choices that matter. Or wait, how do I... Hold on. Nope. Alright. Big decisions. Alright. Told Kate to wait for proof. I didn't answer Kate's call? What? Am I selfish? Why didn't I answer Kate's call? What? Okay. I did an oops. I still saved Kate though. I didn't try to shoot Frank in the first one. My first playthrough. And then, yeah, I did blame Mr. Jefferson because I was getting suspicious of him in my first playthrough. I don't know if the didn't answer Kate's call would help towards that alternate ending, because obviously Chloe would like you a little more if you didn't answer Kate's call, but dang, I didn't do that. Alright. Chaos Theory. Again, I left the money. I did kiss Chloe. You sided with Chloe, yeah. Kept Frank's dog from harm. And Frank is David's gun. Yeah, that's... because I did the option where Frank takes the gun. So he took the gun. And he still has it. I didn't get the gun back. Alright, Dark Room. I accepted Chloe's request to basically kill her. You stopped Warren from beating up Nathan, yeah. Wow, I even wounded Frank. I don't even know. Wow. I can't believe why did I make these decisions? Am I stupid? Alright, and then Victoria believes your warning. Wait. I don't have the last options. Oh, it's because I restarted the chapter. And I exited out before I even completed the final cutscene, so I don't think it counted my data for the 5th episode. Yeah, because I exited out because it's just the same cutscene after that alternate scene I just showed you. So, and I don't want this video getting taken down by using the Foles music in it. Alright, that's the alternate ending, and that's how I got it. So, just be more on Chloe's side throughout the series if you want that ending, I'd say. But, alright. Now that part's out of the way. Now let's go read some journal entries, shall we? Alright, we're back on our save file from the Let's Play. So now I'm going to be going over the journal entries. I'm going to try to go through all of them. So this is going to be a... I don't know how long this episode will be, but I'm going to be doing a lot of reading. Now, we want to go into episode 5 because it'll have all, if not, or most if not all, the journal entries. And I feel like the appropriate place to do this would be at the art gallery, because they'll all be there. If we go any farther, there's not really much... Yeah, you can't really read the journal in those parts of the episode. So, I feel like the art gallery would probably be the most appropriate to read them all in. So, let's just do that. Alright, let's get started. Let's... Oh.
Wowzer, man.
Here it is. Alright, we got 67 pages. Holy crap. Alright, we gotta start all the way from the beginning here. This is gonna be a lot of reading, so... Holy crap. July 10th, 2013. I got accepted into Blackwell Academy. Alright, this is when Max first goes into Blackwell. I guess she just writes down everything. She's excited. Alright. If words could dance, this would be a rave, even though I've never been to one. But who cares, because I got into Blackwell Academy. I didn't think I would be so excited, since it's not like I didn't used to live in the same town. But when I saw the text from the Blackwell Scholarship Office, I could literally feel my pulse speed up. I thought it was going to say, sorry, thanks for playing. It took me a few seconds before I read the whole thing. I guess I wanted to enjoy that last moment of blissful ignorance. And when I saw the first word, congratulations, I think I screamed. My mom cried and my dad laughed. They're so weird. But they're happy, and this means extra financial support because they don't have to pay anything to Blackwell. This means new clothes and, if I can work it, a new laptop. Oh, and I have to keep telling myself in caps that I am going to Blackwell Academy. That's gotta be exciting. I mean, I was that excited when I got accepted into my high school. Alright, next. Okay, this is August 18th. This is next month. Alright. So this is it. I'm leaving Seattle to go back to Arcadia Bay. Usually people go to the high school closest to their home. I suppose I am too. It's just I haven't lived there for 5 years. Out of all the best photography programs in the world, I choose to go to the smallest, back in a town I was excited about leaving. Maybe I wanted to come back all along, just to see if Chloe and I are still even friends. But I do wish Chloe could have moved with us to Seattle. That city was made for her. When we would play pirates in our rooms and in the woods, it seemed like Seattle was that fabled faraway island of treasure and adventure that we were always seeking, with coffee shops. But Seattle wasn't like Fable, or is it Fable? Alright. Our contraire. Now Blackwell Academy seems more exotic to me than any other place in the world. To study photography under Mark Jefferson? Insert hearts and flowers. Plus there will be cool, diverse students from everywhere. It won't be like my high school now. I never really found a groove with my classmates, or boys. I'm lucky I have a couple great friends here, but it's time to ship out. So maybe Arcadia Bay will actually turn out to be the island of treasure and adventure I've been looking for. And, oh Max, it will be. and I gotta say, I do love the artwork in these journal entries. Gonna be seeing a lot of that. Alright, so... Yep, this is the day she's leaving to go to Blackwell. 25th. Alright. Shit is crazy here. I didn't realize how much crap I had to pack until I had to pack all my crap. Same here. Mom and Dad are getting a little too excited I'm clearing out my room. Though I caught Mom crying when she was packing my shirts. That made me want to cry like a little girl. And never leave Seattle. So instead of packing, I feel like burning all my clothes. Then just raiding a thrift store to build up a new Max wardrobe over my junior year. Not that I even have an old Max wardrobe. Nobody will know me except for Chloe, and who knows how different we are now. So I can cut my hair, get a tat and some piercings, maybe date a cute foreign exchange artiste from Paris or Rome. I can do anything, unless I get busted. And there will be so many super cool chances for my photography to get exposed. Think about this is when I get scared, but excited. And then I don't feel like crying at all. I get tingles down my arms, sensing the universe opening up for me. I can't wait to leave. I just want things to be different at Blackwell. Yeah, it's a pretty big change, especially if you're moving out of town to go to a school. Like it's gotta be different, right? September 2nd, 2013. This is past midnight. Alright. My first entry from my new dorm room the night before my first day at Blackwell. Phew. I haven't had any time to write or even take pictures since I got here. My shirt is in boxes all over the room, which is small, but mine, and I never want to leave. I can't wait to decorate. I plan a whole wall of photos. I did meet some of my dorm mates, though I suck at remembering names so I won't bother right now. But I think I can already see who's going to be cool to me, and who's not. It's a bitch trying to get settled in a new school and social sense after I finally found good friends in Seattle. But I'm here now, and this is the start of my new life. Sweet dreams. And September 3rd. Blackwell sucks ass. I told myself not to whine so much. Or so soon, but damn. The day started like Christmas morning. I barely had any dreams because I was so pumped to start my first official day of my new life. Like a dork, I couldn't figure out what to wear, so I chose what was on the floor. I'm no good with names and faces right away, but I picked up some names like Kate, Brooke, Taylor, Alyssa. And how could I forget Victoria Chase? Rich, stylish, entitled. I could feel the instant judgment when she looked at my raggedy-ass clothes. As if I'm at Blackwell to strike fashion poses. Maybe I'm being extra crispy, sensitive, but I think Victoria wants life here to be like her own reality show. Ugh. Victoria Chase. Get out of here. Oh, this is all continued. So that wasn't fun along with my general social unease. I thought it'd be easier being back. Call the wambulance. I don't want this day to end all woe is Max. It was incredible to walk across the green campus in the morning mist. I love the stone steps and brick walls of Blackwell. Everything is a picture waiting to be taken. Speaking of, at least one great thing did happen today. Mr. Jefferson's photography class. Huh. There's more to tell, but journal, forgive me, I'm truly wiped out. Alright, September 4th. That's the next day, right? Yeah. I have an ass load of homework already. So much bullshit. At least give us noobs a day to accumulate. But to prove I'm not a total loser, I made a new friend in my science class. His name is Warren Graham, and he's a serious geek. Plus, he's dark and witty. Yeah, okay, so September 4th is when we met Warren. He comes across as kind of a know-it-all, but it turns out he does kind of know a lot. We talked about photographers, and he actually named a few I'd never heard of. We traded numbers, and he'll be a good study partner, or a good friend, or maybe more. I'll need at least one based on the cliche action here. I thought being 18 meant I didn't have to deal with this teenage drama anymore. I thought. At least I get to research famous photographers for some of my homework. Mr. Jefferson assigned us a ton of reading, but this is exactly what I want to study. Jefferson is super cool and super chill. He doesn't try to be too hip, just says what he thinks and expects us to as well. I think he's a genius. Oh my god, I want to marry him. Just joking. This one class is worth all the social dysfunction. Oh man. Yeah, Mr. Jefferson. Alright, this is like a week or two later here. Homework is kicking my ass. I bet the teachers grade harder just to stop you from feeling special. But Victoria Chase and her snob minions still front like they're honored guest of Blackwell. The bros here aren't that different. Nathan Prescott is Victoria's male clone, with way more money and attitude, if that's possible. His family is the oldest in Arcadia Bay, and I heard stories about them when I was a kid. The Prescotts give a shitload of bank to Blackwell, so Nathan acts like he literally owns the school. Yesterday during class, he put his feet on the desk, started texting, and the teacher didn't say jack. I'd get suspended, but him and Victoria are part of the silly elite Vortex Club that puts on popular parties so they don't get their ways. It's good to be the king and queen. I don't want to slam everybody. I do like Kate Marsh. She's down the hall and in one of my classes. She's so pretty and sweet and friendly. It makes her more beautiful than the biatches, I think. Here, like Victoria, or no, biatches, that's how you say it. Here, like Victoria, who think beauty is just your face and outfit. See? I'm already playing their drama games. No more. Alright, September 23rd. Finally had a chance to take some actual shots around campus today. A perfect blue sky day. I always forget how great I feel after I take pictures. When I've been slacking off, speaking of pictures, Mr. Jefferson told us about the National Everyday Heroes contest he wants us to all enter. The winner gets a trip to San Francisco and lots of publicity. He wants just one photograph from each student. This is exactly why I wanted to come to Blackwell, and of course I'm scared shitless to enter. At least I have a couple weeks before the deadline in October, so I have plenty of time to stress and procrastinate. Huh. Alright, September 30th. I don't know whether I love it or hate it here. I'm trying to keep up with my science class of all things, like I give a shit or even understand it. Good thing I know Warren. Too bad I can't clone him to take my place in class. Miss Grant is much cooler than the class. She explains particle physics, so even boneheads like me can kind of understand. I love how she relates society to science and vice versa. I can tell she's committed and passionate about life, unlike some of us in her class, but I'm trying to engage more. Even if it means asking actual questions in class instead of hiding in the back, I'm just glad I'm not the only social misfit here. Now, how much homework are you avoiding? Alright, we're in October. October 1st. October, my favorite month. The best weather of the year. I agree. I love watching the leaves change color, turning into tiny flames, but it's still too damn hot, thanks global warming. And I can't bust out the big coats and sweaters or scary movies yet. Soon. Kate let me borrow The October Country by Ray Bradbury. I haven't read much by him, which caused Warren to almost revoke my geek cred before I held up my copy of Battle Royale. But he nails the autumn atmosphere of small towns. The last time I wore a Halloween costume was with Chloe. I have pictures in one of my old albums. I should find a real Halloween party to crash so I can experience some social mingling. It's that or a Vortex Club Stroke Fest swimming party. Or is that Backstroke Fest? You so punny, Max. At least I'm trying to climb out of my cocoon. I couldn't expect my life to completely change after a few weeks of Blackwell Academy. As my parents love telling me on a loop, you have all the time in the world. October 7th. Alright, this is when the game begins, actually. October 7th is when everything all starts. Alright. This will be the weirdest journal entry I will ever make. So weird I don't know how or where to start, but it started with the most vivid dream of my life. I was lost in a storm by the lighthouse until I came to the edge of the cliff. Then I saw a giant tornado headed for Arcadia Bay. It was so real that I could feel the rain stinging my face, and I was scared shitless. Then a boat hit the lighthouse, and I swear, I actually felt like I was going to die. But I woke up in Mr. Jefferson's class, and I wasn't even sleeping. I almost fell out of my chair. Jefferson called on me, but I totally blew the answer. Of course, Victoria pounced on me and made me look like a bigger idiot. She's so awful. Then I didn't have the guts to turn in a photo for the Everyday Heroes contest while Victoria did her usual suck up to Jefferson. He's so cool and clearly wants me to succeed. Alright. Yeah, so this game takes place from October 7th to 11th. So a bunch of these journal entries are just going to be about the same day, basically. Alright. I felt so shitty. I just wanted to get to the bathroom to be alone and wash my face after that nightmare, or daymare. Once I got to the bathroom, I saw this odd, beautiful blue butterfly flutter in, and right when I took a photo of it in the corner, Nathan Prescott came in freaking out, talking to himself. I hid in the corner, and this punk girl came in, and they started arguing about drugs and money. Then Nathan actually whipped out his gun and shot the girl. This is where it gets strange. When Nathan fired the gun, I came across the corner and reached out for some dumb reason, as if I could stop the bullet. But suddenly, I could feel the world twisting around me and this pressure in my head. Everything seemed to rewind and I found myself right back in class at my desk. I literally thought I had been dosed with some drug until I calmed myself down. I saw everything happen in class the way it did before. Major Groundhog Day, déjà vu. Somehow I was able to actually rewind time. I knew the only way to find out if I was having a breakdown was to go back to the bathroom and see if I could save that girl from Nathan this time. I had no idea how either. I just knew I couldn't live with myself if I let her die again. I escaped Jefferson this time by knowing exactly how to answer his questions and rushed to the bathroom. I hid in the corner again, and I couldn't believe it when Nathan showed up, freaking out all over again. Then the girl came into the bathroom, and before Nathan could shoot her, I smashed open the ancient fire alarm and scared both of them away. Victory! Until I got grilled by the security chief, David Madsen, who thinks he's Chuck Norris, Blackwell Ranger. Nathan Prescott almost I almost said kissed, kills a girl in the bathroom, but no, I'm the problem. I was so glad when Principal Wells stepped in to shoo David away. That was a good moment. Freaking David. I like that drawing. Alright. Then I made the possible fatal decision to inform Principal Wells that I saw Nathan waving a gun in the bathroom. I didn't think I should mention the girl or my new rewind abilities for obvious reasons. He didn't want to believe me and almost made me feel like shit for telling him that. Blackwell's most big fucking deal student would carry a firearm to class. I couldn't tell him that he actually killed a girl in a previous timeline. So my school day started with an apocalyptic dream and then ended with saving a life and discovering I have some kind of power to rewind time. I don't know how to top that. I don't think anyone can. Alright. Everything feels so surreal right now. I can't talk to anybody about this. Well, the only person I haven't seen in 5 years. I could confide with Warren. He's smart and knows science, and so maybe you even think of an explanation. Though I have no idea what that could be. Until I figure this out, I better stay on the down low with this stuff and focus on my classes. Warren sent me a text asking for his flash drive, even though I haven't had a chance to check out all the cool shows and films on there. I watched a few episodes of Doctor Who and X-Files, binged on Full Metal Alchemist, then Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. All kinds of Amazon women, black and white badassery. Tetsu, a total cyberpunk trip with amazing visuals, and Scott Pilgrim for about the millionth time. Out of all these, I have watched Scott Pilgrim. Alright. On a side note, I saw a missing persons poster on campus for Rachel Amber, a pretty Blackwell student who vanished. It's so sad to see her smiling face and think about the awful things that could happen. If there was a way for me to rewind back 6 months, I totally would. Oh, there's the paint with Victoria. That's funny. I had to go back to the dorm to get Warren's flash drive, and yes, Victoria and her vortex of vixens blocked me from getting in, and even took my picture. It was so high school movie, I couldn't believe she did it. She actually told me to go fuck your selfie, though. It was funny. I don't know why she has to act that way. She already has everything she wants, doesn't she? And she forced me to use my rewind until I finally came up with a way to get her out of my way. I don't want to use this power for trivial bullshit, especially if I have been given an actual gift from the universe, but it did give me a chance to test it out. Alright. But I feel like shit seeing Victoria sitting there by herself on the steps covered in paint. She didn't look like the Queen Biatch of Blackwell, just a lonely girl as confused as me. I knew I had to find out if she was okay. She was actually nice and apologized. She even deleted the picture she took of me on her phone. So maybe there's hope for the future. More high school drama. Juliet wouldn't let Dana out of her room because she thought Zachary was sexting Dana. So stupid. I was so tired from everything. And since Dana borrowed Warren's flash drive, I had to intervene. Juliet told me Victoria was the one who gave her the inside scoop on Zach and Dana, so I knew that Victoria was playing them all. I snuck into Victoria's room and onto her laptop and found out that she was indeed lying through her ass just to create drama. Of course, I feel like a weasel going through Victoria's room and laptop. And there's the pregnancy test. We didn't look at that. Alright. Alright, what's next? Once I gave Juliet the proof that Victoria was behind it all, I went to get Warren's flash drive from Dana. She was in a weird mood, but we said nasty things about Victoria, and I think it definitely made her feel better. We talked about Warren, and Dana implied he likes me. Ew. Alright. I'm starting to get the hang of this whole rewind thing. I don't want to waste this power, but there has to be some reason it was given to me, so I better learn how to use it right. I started by saving Alyssa from getting a football-fueled headshot. I admit it felt amazing just to help Alyssa with something as simple as that. I also saw David Madsen hassling Kate Marsh. I couldn't hear everything, but he was accusing her of something. All that guy can do is point fingers. I got so pissed, I went over to scoop him from being such a bully. He's a security guard, not a stormtrooper. He was an asshole, as usual, but I felt good about what I did, and Kate seemed truly happy that somebody stood up for her. And I did that without using my rewind power. This day keeps getting stranger. I don't even believe what I'm writing, and I can't even do a simple task like giving Warren back his flash drive without getting into a situation. In this case, though, it turned out half bad and half good, which I guess is the yin and yang of life. When I met with Warren in the lot and checked out his new retro wheels, guess who showed up? Nathan Prescott, freaking out all over again. He got all up in my face and accused me of bullshit. Even though I was scared because I know what he did to that girl in the bathroom, I was more furious. Then the girl in the bathroom pulled up in a truck, my former best friend, Chloe Price. We both looked at each other like, what the fuck? Next thing I knew, I was in the truck as Warren earned his man card and tried to get Nathan off my ass. I owe Warren big time. Seeing Chloe for the first time in 5 years was such a shock I was almost paralyzed. Especially after realizing that Nathan had almost killed her right in front of me. Now Chloe shows up out of the blue to save me. Thanks, Chloe. Alright. Of all the bizarro and unexplainable shit happening today, sitting in Chloe's battered truck listening to music and staring at her dashboard bobblehead might be at the top. So I tried to process the fact that Chloe and I were two best friends who didn't know each other anymore. And she had blue hair, piercings, and cool boots, and I looked like a dork. I didn't know where to start, and she wasn't exactly extending an olive branch. So we sat like strangers. At least I had time to catch my breath and realize that in the parking lot melee with Nathan and Warren, my camera got busted up. I didn't care considering everything else going on, but it sucked on top of everything else going on. Going back to Chloe's old house for the first time in 5 years was like the ultimate rewind. Some things were obviously different, but some things weren't. The house smelled exactly the same as it did when we were growing up. Chloe's room was like an exploded version of her new adult self, cool and chaotic. I could tell she was pissed. She wanted to blaze up and chill, so I explored her room to play catch up on what she was getting into these days. Alright. Then I found a photo of Chloe and Rachel Amber. Chloe freaked and laid into me for not calling her once. I deserved it. She had become best friends with Rachel, and they were going to bail in Arcadia Bay and head out to Los Angeles for fame and fortune. I could tell how much Chloe cared about Rachel since she was the one putting up the posters. I felt even shittier about leaving Chloe alone all those years when she was most needed me. You suck, Max. But Chloe is obsessed with Rachel, the missing girl. She says Rachel vanished after meeting some amazing dude, probably some psycho online. Chloe wanted to smoke out and be alone, so I went downstairs to find tools to fix my camera. Snooping deeper, I hit the paranoia jackpot and found a whole mini surveillance setup of Chloe's house, with cameras in the halls and some rooms. Truly creepy shit. What kind of uber paranoid puts cameras throughout his own home? Chloe's stepfather, I guess. I see why she's got serious attitude. When I got back upstairs, I couldn't fix the stupid camera, but Chloe saw the butterfly photo and knew I was in the bathroom and set off the alarm. Her attitude totally changed, and she realized that I had saved her life. Even though it could have gone the other way, she was so happy like when we were kids, and it was great to see her face light up. She even gave me her dad's awesome old Instamatic as a symbol as our reunion. She cranked up the tunes and started dancing on her bed like a maniac. She even got me to shake my booty. Just a bit. That's when Chloe's stepfather showed up, and it was David Madsen. Dun dun dun! Alright. I had to hide in the closet, and then David came in, angry about the music. He was even scarier off campus because he didn't have the school around him. He accused Chloe of taking one of his guns. Then shit got real. David found Chloe's joint and flipped out on her. She didn't back down and actually slapped her bastard. Alright. I thought Chloe would be pissed. I didn't step in to help, but she didn't think it would matter. We decided to get out of there and catch up on our exploring like best friends. Alright. Alright, I just went through like, what, 21 pages there? Alright. I'm gonna need like a second breather. Yeah. I gotta say, throughout the playthrough or let's play, that freaking decision of staying in the closet really backfired. And I feel like that's the reason we didn't even get the Chloe kiss at the end. Like, we just kept getting shamed for staying in the closet throughout episodes 2 and 3. I forget if it even popped up in 4 and 5, but yeah. Alright, let's continue. So Chloe and I ended up at the lighthouse, watching the sunset. Chloe was mellow and told me more about David and his uber paranoia at school and at home. It all made sense. But I wanted to know why Chloe was in that bathroom with Nathan Prescott. She told me he has deals drugs, and she wanted to blackmail him to pay off some big loan. It's so strange where our lives have gone since the last time we hung out. We were 13. Then I had another nightmare, or duskmare. I was right back at the lighthouse in a storm, except this time I was following a ghostly deer until I got to the edge of the cliff. I could see the tornado destroying everything in its path, and again I could feel the cold sting of the rain. The lighthouse was crumbling, and I felt so helpless watching the tornado move towards the town. Then Chloe snapped me out of the dream, and I told her what I saw, and as if to make the day even... my god, I can't read. Alright, let's start that again. Then Chloe snapped me out of the dream, and I told her what I saw, and as if to make the day end on another unusual note, snow started falling from the sky in the warm sunset. It felt so weird, ominous, and beautiful all at once, especially standing there with my best friend. And on the positive thought, I've officially earned a great night's sleep. Alright, yeah, that just concluded October 7th. So, October 8th, this goes into episode 2 of Life is Strange. Alright. Oh, look at that little picture of our room. That's cool. I need water. Okay, that's a little bit better. I woke up this morning a different person. Even if nobody knows yet, after yesterday's intense revelations with my rewind power and saving Chloe's life among the other cray-cray, as Victoria might say, events at Blackwell, I have to assume everything is different now, and I thought exposing my photos to the world was going to be hard. After Chloe dropped me off back at my dorm yesterday, I tried to find out more about that freak snowfall that happened when we were at the lighthouse. But the local meteorologists are stumbled so far. I felt so jacked up that I pulled an all-nighter on time in physics research. Alright. Not being Warren, I ended up knowing less about my situation than when I started. I don't really think that my tornado vision and the snowfall are connected, but at this point I have no fucking clue what to believe. I'm just so glad Chloe and I are a team again. That has to be destiny. Now I have to hit the showers and get ready to meet Chloe for breakfast. Lord knows I need it. I ran into Kate in the showers and she asked for the October Country back. I love that book and definitely need to get my own copy. Of course, when I was in the shower, Victoria and Taylor barged in and totally started raging on poor Kate about the video. Just to be complete assholes, they wrote the link on the mirror. I truly don't understand how they get off on acting like that. Victoria has everything. What does she gain by being a bully to Kate Marsh? We're supposed to be adults here, but I swear, it's like the Battle Royale, just without the dystopia and exploding heads. Only Victoria can make me feel dirty in a shower. I gotta say, I like this picture right here. Alright. The plot thickens, and I can't get out. So after listening to Victoria and Taylor rag on about the video, I came back to my room to find the creepy photo montage. Only Nathan would be this disturbed. Oh yeah, that's when Nathan kind of like went in our room and kind of graffitied it, right? Alright, the thought that Nathan was in here actually setting up this weird gallery is way fucked up. I better start being more careful around here, and I almost want surveillance system now. And okay. As if things here weren't dramatic enough, I got a creepy text from a private number. Nathan? Victoria? No clue. I really have to start watching my back. I still had to give Kate's book back, so I went to her room. I knew she wasn't doing good, but I didn't know how bad until I went in. All the lights were off, blinds closed, like some emo goth den. And Kate is the opposite of emo or goth. She was just crying in the dark, and it was so sad to see her like this. More sad is that I wished I could have taken a picture of her framed in her expressionist misery. Alright. Kate admitted that she thinks something more happened to her than just a video. Plus, she told me that Nathan Prescott gave her a ride from the party to the ER, and she thinks he did something to her, but she doesn't remember what. It's hard not to believe Kate considering what kind of person she is and what kind of person Nathan is. I've seen for myself exactly what that fucker is capable of. Of course, Kate asked if she should go to the police and the principal. Alright. I felt like absolute shit, but I told Kate she shouldn't go to anybody until she has more proof she was drugged. That video doesn't help her case at all, and this could all backfire big time. She's going up against the whole Prescott empire, not just one rich white boy on dope. She wasn't too thrilled by my answer. I don't think she trusts me to be the one investigating all of this. How can I blame her? I sometimes wonder what I am actually doing, besides getting myself in more trouble. Kate even booted me out of her room. Hello, everyday hero. Poor Kate. Alright. I ran into Warren, or rather, Warren was waiting to run into me. Naturally, he wanted to know what the hell happened in the parking lot with the Chloe and Nathan show. Once again, I felt like a dick because I should have gone away, or a hold of Warren to see if he was okay after we just left him in the lot. I do owe Warren. I only told him about a little bit what was going on with Nathan. The less he knows, the better for him. I would love to at least tell him about my ability to fucking reverse time and space, but ironically, I don't think it's the right time or space. Besides, he would want to marry me immediately, just so he could have his own human time machine, or capture me for scientific experiments, or make me go to the drive-in with him. Oh wait, I did say I would go to the drive-in with him. Hope he doesn't make a lame move on me. Not that he would. Egomaniac. Warren and I do have a lot in common, but he's like a super cool geek brother. Anyway, I definitely need a movie escape. Alright. Max just friend-zoned Warren like that. Alright. Before catching the bus out to meet Chloe, I saw Nathan talking to David, which made me nervous. Otherwise, I had a nice soundtracked ride to the Two Whales Diner. Talk about going back in time. I haven't seen the diner in 5 years, but it looks exactly the same. Although now there are way less fishermen and way more dumped food carts than when we were kids. Chloe and I had the best backdrop to play pirate, old ships and a big ocean. Chloe was late, duh, so I was happy to be distracted by seeing Joyce again. The diner is like a museum piece, except with customers. Better still, the food hasn't changed at all. Joyce seemed really glad to see me again, and she didn't give me a guilt trip for not staying in touch. After William died, she wanted to move forward with her new life and husband. Chloe doesn't want to accept that. Joyce wasn't happy about Chloe getting busted with weed. I really should have stepped up and taken the hit instead of Chloe. I feel bad that Joyce has to defend David for laying the smackdown on his own stepdaughter. William was always so kind and gentle with us. Can't even imagine how Chloe would be if he hadn't died. Well, we know that outcome now. Alright. So much drama and I haven't even finished my breakfast. Finally, Chloe showed up, more bubbly than I would have thought after almost getting killed in the bathroom yesterday. It makes me happy to see her smile, but that smile meant trouble, since all she really wanted was for me to show off my rewind power. So I did, and I have to admit, I feel like a total boss, except I did start feeling weak and woozy the more I rewound. I even got a nosebleed, which kind of freaks me out. Chloe always wants more, so she demanded we go to her top secret lair. She still had to get pissed off at me because I dared to answer Kate's call. I'm not a fan of Chloe's petulant side. She tried to make me feel like an ass, but screw that. Kate was so happy I answered, I actually felt worse for her. Chloe has to know I can have two friends at once. Damn right. Alright. Just when I thought shit couldn't get crazier, Chloe took me to her secret lair, the city dump. Perfect for Halloween. Like where the vehicle and appliance ghosts of Arcadia Bay come to rot and rust. Urban dystopia porn. But instead of taking cool photos, Chloe had me do some silly kind of fun gun tricks. Until the guy Chloe owes money to showed up, some skeevy guy called Frank, he demanded Chloe pay him back, or else. I was shocked that he wasn't the loan shark I had expected, but I could literally feel his bad vibe. I still can't see how my best friend ended up involved with a loser like Frank. And I almost shot him. He pulled a knife on us and it felt like another one of my dreams. I don't even remember aiming the gun at him, but my finger just tapped against the trigger. Thank God there were no bullets left. I could have used my rewind, but the way my hand was throbbing, who knows. I can't assume my power will always be available. I don't know anything about this works or how long, so I can't take anything for granted. I just know I'm never holding another gun. After all that wait, is that an R? Dramarama? Volume 30? Is that 30? 33? I don't know. Chloe and I ended up taking a walk along the tracks deep in the woods. We both needed to hear nothing but the sounds of nature and wildlife. I was shaking inside from our encounter with Frank, and though Chloe fronts tough, I could tell she was shaken too. She told me everything about Frank, which explains why she was trying to blackmail Nathan. It shocks me that the girl I grew up with watching SpongeBob ended up in such scary orbit. Still, I felt safer with her at my side, and I was glad we had a moment of peace. So it probably wasn't the best idea to lay down on the tracks and wax about life, etc. As Chloe's leg got caught in the rail just as the goddamn train showed up. Of course I was off trying to take a photo for my portfolio. And then I had another quick flash of my tornado vision. Alright, I could see it, almost feel it tearing the sky apart. My head felt like it was exploding, like in the 80s film Scanners. Just as fast as the vision came in, it disappeared. I may be in a denial about what this apocalyptic about this apocalyptic image means or doesn't. Alright. This happens. When I read too much, I trip up on words, and I'm sorry. I mean, we're almost halfway through. We're not halfway through. We're almost halfway through. Oh, God. Alright. Refresh, refresh. Just look at the pretty pictures. There's Max and Chloe on the track. There's the elite train. Alright. Then I heard Chloe screaming for help, and I was shitting kittens. Her foot was stuck in the damn rail, and naturally the train was coming around the mountain. I was pretty proud of myself for coming up with a drastic, if not destructive, solution to saving Chloe once again, but just in case this journal ever falls into the wrong hands, it's going to remain our BFF secret, so there. Smart. Our morning adventure, Chloe dropped me off back at my campus. She was so sweet and said that this had been the best week of her life, despite everything. That made me feel so awesome. Chloe really sees us like we're taking over the world. Every time I see taking, I say talking. I don't know why. They look so similar. Alright, where are we? Okay, we're there. But what if I hadn't been able to use my rewind power to get off the tracks? To get her off the tracks. Chloe might have to lower her expectations, and so will I. Speaking of expectations, David Madsen talked to me without being a total prick. I wanted to tear him a new one for hitting Chloe, thinking I could rewind if things got out of control, and he didn't seem sufficiently sorry for me, or to me. I know Chloe provokes him, but that's no fucking excuse to hit someone, especially a family member. I see that David is sorry and trying to reach out to me. I know he saw terrible things in combat. I just can't trust him and his paranoid surveillance fetish, especially with how weird he acts with Kate like she's a criminal. I'll give David props for trying to smoke the peace pipe with me, but he acts like he's still at war. Something odd happened, as if everything happening isn't bizarro, but I saw Kate having an intense conversation with Mr. Jefferson, and she ended up practically running away from him in tears. I wish I could have casually asked, "Oh, by the way, what's up with Kate?" Like he would tell me anyway. I know Kate treats Jefferson like he's an apostle or something, so what did he say to make her so upset? Just when I was feeling good about Chloe and me, I walk into Jefferson's class and see Nathan and Victoria actually sitting on my desk. Unreal, asshole bookends. Here it is. Kate Marsh almost killed herself. My hands are still shaking, but I have to write this down while I can. Right at the start of Jefferson's class, Kate went to the roof of the girls' dorm to jump. Every student and teacher was watching her, like it was Blackwell rooftop concert. I saw her actually jump, but I was just about able to use my rewind to get her back on the roof. I tried harder than I ever did, and somehow I stopped time completely. I made it to the roof, but again my head felt like it was going to blow up. I knew that I couldn't just keep rewinding to save Kate. I had to try and talk her down on my own. She was already in so much pain over the video and all the bullying, so she wasn't going to buy everything I tried to tell her. You see movies with people trying to talk someone out of suicide, but it's very different when I'm the one doing the talking. I covered everything I could, and Kate almost jumped anyway. Cliche or not, I told her how much her friends and family love her, even if they don't all show it now. Lo and behold, Kate stepped back from the ledge, alive. I almost cried in her arms. Wow, that image there. Kind of gave her wings there. Alright. I know this isn't about me, though I have to admit it was an amazing feeling to walk arm in arm with Kate from the roof to outside the dorm. Like I said, the whole school and police were watching us almost completely silent. Then I heard what sounded like Logan yelling out, "Give it up for Max!" And everyone started to clap and cheer. Talk about surreal. The people who ignored me or treated me like crap suddenly crushing on me. That might be the strangest thing that's happened to me this insane week. And that made me wonder if Victoria was watching and how she felt about all this. I almost wanted to find her just to get her in, just to get in her smug face for enabling Kate's suicide attempt. Such cruel bullshit. Though to be fair, Victoria wasn't the only one that was responsible. Nathan Prescott seemed to have disappeared, which was probably a good thing. And after all that, I still had to talk to the police and give a statement. Felt so weird to do since I've seen it in pretty much every police procedural show. I had to lie my ass off when he questioned me about the other students because I just don't think the police are ever going to find out what happened. Yes, this looks like a job for Super Max, right? Though, of course, I do love it when Chloe calls me that, even if I don't feel like that every day heroic for helping Kate down. Maybe it's wrong for me to think I have to feel anything but grateful that Kate didn't jump. What was really odd was when all the students and faculty staff surrounded me and Kate, then started patting our backs and shoulders like we were heroes. I wasn't sure how to respond, considering Kate almost threw herself off the roof because of everybody at school, but like I said, I can't blame everybody, and I still don't really know where to point all my fingers. The very best thing was that even though Kate was still in tears and confused, I definitely saw her smile once she realized how happy everybody was that she was alive. I smiled too. The police and paramedics swooped in, and then Kate was covered in a blanket and gently escorted to the ambulance. They didn't thank me or look at me like I was a hero. I guess they're used to saving people without applause. But if I'm super honest, it felt pretty cool. Like I got a hug from the whole school. So maybe Blackwell Academy isn't totally bad. It's not enough that Kate is alive, and though I'm not enough of a egomaniac to take the credit, I still had to get the Blackwell third degree from Principal Wells. It was bizarre to be in his tacky office with Nathan Prescott, David Madsen, and Mr. Jefferson calmly talking about why Kate would attempt suicide. I was quiet but giddy inside, just replaying in my head that moment when Kate stepped toward me, with a glimmer of hope in her eyes. Part of me wanted to smash Nathan's smug face against the desk, knowing he had a lot to do with Kate's suicide attempt. I thought about doing it, then flipping a quick rewind, but I knew that would be the start of a bad, dangerous habit. Fortunately, Principal Wells amazingly did the right thing and booted Nathan for a few days after I told him what happened in the bathroom. He must have more shit on Nathan, because otherwise I doubt this would happen to Prescott. That's some small justice for Kate. There'll be more if it's the last thing I do, which it could be if I'm not careful. Alright. After being grilled in the principal's den, I hung out with Warren on the lawn so I could feel grass under my feet and watch the fluffy clouds. He's such a sweetheart. He kept telling me how proud he was that I stopped Kate from jumping. I don't believe that I did, but I have to say it's better to be treated like a hero at school than like a twee loser. Still, I told Warren that something ominous is happening at Blackwell Academy. Rachel Amber, Chloe, and now Kate have all been victims. Not to mention me, if I keep playing amateur detective. Wish I could have let Warren know about my power, but it's not the right time, as if anything is right time anymore. And to make the day end on the most surreal note possible, the sky went dark and we watched a solar eclipse that was not announced on the news or any astronomy site. What is happening to Arcadia Bay? Alright, we made it to October 9th. I'm gonna take probably a 5-minute break. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Alright, October 9th. This is Wednesday, the start of episode 3, I believe. Alright. Dear Diary, I have the power to rewind time, and I end up on a rooftop trying to stop my friend from jumping off while trying to prevent that possible destruction of my hometown. I fell asleep at my desk and woke up reaching out to rewind, or grab Kate. I remember when my journal entries were about which anime character I wanted to be, or my dreams of being respected globe-hopping photographer, or what me and Chloe would be doing when we were finally adults. At least we know how that turned out so far. Chloe's determined to get to the bottom of what's going on, so I've been playing What Would Chloe Do, which means blowing off my Blackwell homework to research everything I can find on Kate Marsh, Rachel Amber, and the esteemed Prescotts. It would be too easy peasy if they were all connected, but at this point, I think the whole town of Arcadia Bay is connected to this crazy shit. I can already see the story on the National Geographic Channel, Mystic, Scientific, or Apocalyptic. What the hell did I just say? Alright, Apocalyptic. I swear I'm gonna get that word right. The Arcadia Bay tornado. Shudder. Speaking of fear, I still think about Kate and the sadness in her eyes on the roof. I'm so grateful she's alive. I love seeing the students at Blackwell show their support for her with gifts and flowers, finally. At least I feel better now that Nathan is suspended. It's good he's off campus for a few days, I hope. And like I give a shit if the Prescott family sends a team of lawyers after me, please I doubt they would like all the publicity. I doubt their tentacles reach into the west of Oregon. Not yet, anyway. Leave it to Chloe to make me sneak out past curfew and demand I meet her in front of the main building in the dead of night. I knew Chloe would be all over investigating the campus after what happened to Kate here. This just makes Chloe more desperate to find out what happened to Rachel, if anything. It's funny that even though I think I can just rewind myself out of trouble, I'm in more trouble now than I ever before in my life. If this was a Twilight Zone story, I'd be getting set up for some serious irony. Like I'm going to rewind myself out of existence or something. Can I honestly say I'll have this ability for the rest of my life? Are the tornado and the snow and the eclipse just hallucinations? Are they genuine prophecy? More importantly, is this a curse or blessing? Chloe's alive and by my side, that has to be a miracle, which means there must be a way to stop my vision from coming true, right? So yes, I broke curfew to hook up with Chloe. She said she had something to show me. Looks like it's time for some serious detective work. Enter the Blackwell Ninjas. Keymaster Chloe. I like that picture. Alright. As I stealthily made my way out of the hall, I passed by Kate's door and saw all the nice messages from other students. Too bad most of Blackwell didn't care when they passed around the video and bullied her to that roof. Everybody always cares when it's too late. At least Kate will see that people are on her side, finally. I hope I can visit her when all this blows over. Maybe that's not a good choice of words. Damn, that was too close. I was doing so well until I got outside, and of course, it was Principal Wells of all people blocking the way. The one person I at least wanted to see. I wasn't ninja enough for him, so yeah, he busted me, but I finally got to see that the gossip was true for a change. Principal Wells was shit-faced. He didn't even try to hide it. In fact, he was a lot cooler drunk than sober. I can see why he's so confused, dealing with Kate's family and the Prescotts and David Madsen. He still acts suspicious and gives me way too much tood, as he would say. Nobody says that seriously. But I can see that he's under a lot of pressure, so much that he's so wasted he can't even use his keys at midnight. Sure, he was in my way, but he was no match for my rewind power. After all, I had to go and meet Chloe. Bad Max. Even though I thought I was in full ninja mode, Chloe still scared the shit out of me, which pissed me off considering what I've been going through. Sometimes she's so damn insensitive to other people's feelings. She wants all my attention for her and finding Rachel, and she gets all butthurt if I don't have time for her. Obviously I have time in hand, but I can't stay mad at her for long, and she was so damn excited about having the keys to the main building, and honestly, I was pretty amped up too. Alright. Even more so, we went to the front of the building and spied on Victoria talking smack about me, shocked. And worse, actually trying to blackmail Mr. Jefferson to pick her photo for the Everyday's Hero contest. She is freaking unreal. I give Mr. Jefferson major respect for telling her to get lost, even though she deserved to be expelled and pulling that crap. This is her priority after what happened with Kate. I just don't understand Victoria, no matter how I try. She's always rich, pretty, and good photographer. Why try so hard and hurt so many to manipulate everything already in your favor? I just hope that's not what I'm doing with my rewind power. Yes, there's something incredibly awesome about breaking into your own school at the witching hour. Although Chloe was technically right, how can we break in with a key? Never mind that, it was a stolen key from the school's head of security. Anyway, the Blackwell ninjas strike again. So cool to stalk the halls when it's dark and quiet, even with so many terrible things happening all around us. It felt like Chloe and I were walking towards the center of a great cosmic mystery, something bigger than any of us. But we kinda suck at Master Spies since we didn't have the key to the principal's office. No worries with my rewind power at hand, and of course Dr. Warren Graham, he came through with a bitchin' mini bomb made of sodium whatever the fuck ever. I probably learned more putting those ingredients together than the entire semester so far. Sorry, Miss Grant. Warren is the star student here. He's tried so hard to help me, maybe too much. But what's wrong with that these days? I'm so grateful he's on my team. Talk about being in the Sancto Sanctorum. Thanks, Latin class, I barely passed. Of Blackwell. I didn't feel freaking weird about being in the principal's office after midnight, going through his files and laptop with Chloe. She was way too into it. Technically, we could be arrested and thrown in jail. Yikes. I just pretended that we were on a very special episode of The Wizards of Waverly Place. You know, just a couple of wacky Sherlocks investigating the school for a good cause. Yeah, that helped. While we didn't find the proof, we found Nathan's file had a weird drawing in it, just said Rachel in the dark room over and over. So that's a major clue that Nathan is involved in this somehow. Or he's just insane. But his note also referenced David M., which means that we absolutely have to find a way into David's secret bunker files for a good cause. But Chloe just can't help herself, and she actually wanted to take $5,000 in cash, marked handicapped fund, because that's gotta be legit, am I right? I can't think of a faster route to Karma Hell. But it would have paid off Chloe's debt to Frank. I stopped her, but it kind of bothers me that Chloe can be so selfish like that. I'm not going to let anything happen to her, but I can't just let her do anything she wants. Mad Max? Or like Mommy Max. Despite all the usual breaking in and blowing up office hijinks, Chloe decided that we needed more than anything was to take a night swim in the otter's lair. I was so giddy and rebellious that I was like, oh yes, we shall swim. We didn't completely skinny dip, but close enough to get in big trouble no matter what. I don't know why we were so careless after being so careful. I love that Chloe brings out the just don't give a fuck side of me, even if that hasn't always served her well. She deserved a moment of not giving a shit. Me too. Just two friends goofing around in the pool. I fear those youthful shenanigans might soon be a thing of our past. God, I'm starting to sound like one of the teachers at Blackwell. Chloe and I had a nice chat about our lives since I left. We talked about dumb boys and girls and why they're trouble, especially for me. I feel like a groupie when I talk to Chloe about our life experience. She has me to so beat. I take pictures, she takes action. Speaking of action, we had to seriously bounce when security showed up. Duh. How quiet could we be in the swimming pool? Plus, after leaving a trail of our Blackwell handiwork, it was so intense and exciting to get past the security guards. They had serious spotlight power, so it wasn't exactly easy to stealth our way past, especially as we had to bail on Chloe's junker. But like I said, intense and exciting. Hella like Chloe Price. Alright. Even though my body smelled like I had been doused in chlorine, it was so nice to crash in Chloe's room for the first time in 5 years, and wake up next to her like our old sleepovers. For some reason, it reminded me of the time we were going to TP one of the neighbors' houses, and we even snuck out, but got chicken and ran back home, laughing all the way. I remember waking up the next day, and Joyce was making one of her delicious breakfasts downstairs, and Chloe smiled at me like we were in the most secret club in the world, or at least Arcadia Bay. We were pirates. Damn it! After our academic espionage last night, I felt the same way. It's just that now the stakes are much higher and much more dangerous. I even ended up in some of Rachel Amber's clothes since mine were trashed. A band tee and ripped jeans, so not me. But I haven't found my style yet, so why not have some fun experimenting with a new outfit? Speaking of experiments, Chloe dared me to kiss her. So I did. She probably thought I'd wuss out. Why? It wasn't that big of a deal. Though it was cute the way she was kind and embarrassed after said she would tell Warren. Besides, I think Chloe sees Rachel Amber in her future. When I went down to breakfast, Joyce actually called me Rachel, which just seems so wrong considering how beautiful she is and how boring I am. I guess my new outfit really is working its magic. I ended up helping Joyce make breakfast just like when I was a kid on the sleepover. It's odd how quickly you can fall back into an old routine. So I must have set off Joyce's nostalgia mode since she busted out ye old photo album. I'm one of the few people who loves checking out old pictures. What was that Alfred Hitchcock line about the film Pieces of Time? Like Mr. Jefferson said, so are photographs. I do think she wanted me to see her husband in a better light. When David was happy or laughing with Joyce in a picture, I wanted to say, and who's that? Plus, I'm sure it's no accident that there was a photo of Rachel wearing the exact same clothes I had on. She truly is stunning, and somehow looks more punk rock than Chloe. The truly heartbreaking image was the last photo William Price ever took. Chloe and I making pancakes in the kitchen. Joyce really misses that joyful, optimistic girl. I know she's still there. When Chloe smiled at me this morning, I saw her. The picture seemed to sum up everything we had as children and lost as adults, whatever being an adult means. Which was a perfect cue for Chloe to bounce into the room and start shit with Joyce. This gave me cruel cover so I could sneak into the garage and finally unlock David Madsen's extreme files. So today I finally found out what was in David's secret files, and I admit, I expected it to be worse. I'm relieved that it wasn't, so maybe I'm going easier on him than I should. No surprise that I had detailed files on Kate and Rachel listing their whereabouts along with the surveillance pics. David isn't off my shit list yet, but he's a damn good investigator. I'll give him that. It's clear that Frank and Rachel had some kind of relationship, and I don't think Chloe is going to be very happy to hear that. She needs to start waking up. We all do. Okay. When David came home, things escalated quickly. He looked more upset than usual, but shrugged when he saw me wearing Rachel's clothes. He was so on edge. Maybe I'll never get to see the David that Joyce loves so much. She and Chloe really let him have it though. This was the first time I saw them bond since we were kids. Suddenly, I couldn't take it anymore and I kind of blew it. It was like a torrent that felt awesome. I've been wanting to rip into David like that myself for a long time. I figured worst case scenario. Scenario. I said scenario. What am I doing? Hello, Rewind Power. But I wanted Joyce to know the depth of his weird paranoia. She looked so sad and angry when I told her about the photos of Rachel and Kate, not to mention the home surveillance. Joyce kicked his ass out of the house, to Chloe's glee. Alright. Despite David's evidence and the bracelet, Chloe refused to believe Rachel was involved with Frank. This is a part of Chloe I don't much like. She gets so damn petulant if she doesn't get her way, or if she hears something she doesn't like. Serious denial, I get why, but that doesn't make dealing with it any easier. So I threw my hands up and suggested we check out Frank's RV. I knew that would piss Chloe off and she would do anything to find out what kind of relationship he had with Rachel. But first we had to get the damn keys to the RV, which meant into the Two Whales diner and bouncing like a rewind pinball between Frank, Nathan Prescott, and Officer Barry and fucking with all of them. I'm still dizzy thinking about how I pulled it off. Yay, Max. Sometimes I feel like I'm just cheating at life. Because life is strange, isn't it? Oh man, my voice is getting a bit crusty right now. I haven't done this much reading in so long. Just keep that on standby. Alright. The first thing we had to do was get Frank's scary dog out of the RV. So we did the classic cartoon give a dog a bone routine, and Cujo became Scooby-Doo just like that. Frank's RV was pretty much what I expected, drug dealer trash chick. But it wasn't as serial killer as I feared. We ransacked the place and found what Chloe didn't want us to find. I'm sorry Chloe had to see the pictures of Rachel posing for Frank, even if she did care about him. To her, it's just another betrayal, just another loved one dumping on her. Everybody she ever loved, she lost one way or another. Only I came back from the past. For what? To make Chloe's life more painful? I just wish I could use my rewind power to go all the way back to the days when we were covered in pancake flour. Life was simple. October 10th. So this is Thursday. Yeah, this is Thursday. So this is... Wait, this is episode 4. Right? Or did episode 3 go into the next day? I don't know. I forget now. Let's never do the time warp again. I can't even begin to explain what happened. If I think too hard about the ramifications, my brain might melt. When I try to describe it, it's as if I'm describing something that happened to someone else. Chloe was so upset when we discovered that Rachel had actually been involved with Frank Bowers, and she just blew up. I can never talk to her when she's like this, and I just get so tired of having to walk on eggshells around her emotions. She still blames William for her messed up life, no matter how much she knows she's being unfair. I can't say that I wouldn't be just as messed up, not that I'm not in my own way. In my room, all I can think was, I wish I could go back in time and help Chloe. And suddenly, I was looking at the photograph William had taken of us that day he died, and it started pulsing like it was 3D, like I could see inside the photograph. Then I found myself actually back in the photo, to when I was 13 years old. I was back in Chloe's kitchen in the year 2008. Alright, yeah, this is end of episode 3, going into episode 4 right now. With Chloe and William, right before he left to pick up Joyce for the last time, since my powers somehow morphed to this new level of rewind, I decided that there was no way I was going to let William die again. So I played hide the keys until he had no other option but to take the bus. I was so happy I actually saved William. I never thought about what could go wrong. I knew I was screwed when I came out of my epic rewind and saw Victoria Chase, but now she was my friend? And I was a member of the Vortex Club? Enough said. I knew I had screwed up, and then I felt sick thinking about what might change with Chloe. I had a clue when I saw David Madsen driving the school bus. He sure didn't look so threatening anymore. I didn't want to know how he ended up as a bus driver instead of with Joyce. I felt my heart drop when I rushed to Chloe's house, so when William opened the door, I prepared myself for the worst. That's when Chloe rolled forward in her wheelchair, paralyzed from the neck down. I didn't even know what to say, so I covered my mouth in my typical gesture of shock and stupid. But Chloe's smile was so genuine and beautiful, I almost cried. I almost cried too. She was so happy to see us, and in that ending. Alright. I had to adjust to everything without freaking out or telling Chloe that I actually altered time and space to save her father, but get her in a car accident so she can never walk again? The thing is, she was still Chloe, just minus all the rage. This Chloe was just grateful to be alive and have her family watching over her. Chloe begged me to spend the night, and of course I did. I noticed how run down parts of the home were, compared to before. I saw the incredible expensive equipment that Chloe now requires, including her new garage room. Sorry, David. Even though I felt awful and disconnected, Chloe was just so bubbly and excited to hang out with me again, especially since I flaked on her pretty hardcore after her accident. Even in an alternate universe, I'm a shitty friend. Chloe's world was so new and unique to me, especially her strength and kindness, and pain. She needed a whole pharmacy to get through the day. I didn't feel sorry for her. I felt in awe with her attitude. This Chloe didn't blame anybody for her condition, even though she had the right. We strolled down the beach and saw the beached whales that proved something bad was happening in both realities. And then Chloe asked me to put her to sleep. The accident left her body pretty much broken, her lungs stopped working properly, and she was basically dying a slow, painful death. She also felt so guilty about her parents' sacrifice and dwindling income. She wasn't erratic or tortured about this request, just practical, which made me feel even more terrible for putting her in this situation. But there was no way I was going to help my best friend take her own life. I couldn't do it, especially after what happened with Kate. I know I should have done whatever Chloe asked of me, considering I was responsible for her situation. But how could I inject her full of morphine and just watch her fade away? I know she was upset, but I just had to tell myself that this reality wasn't real. After my visit to Chloe's new world, I knew it was time to go Max to the future. I had seen the results of my temporal tampering, and I got scared thinking my new power wouldn't even work anymore. That would have been cruel karma. Fortunately, I was able to project myself into the photograph once again, and I undid everything I had done. Goodbye, William again. Hello, David again. That's like one of the saddest scenes in the game when you actually have to let William die, basically for the second time, and you just see Max just breaking down behind him. Alright. I've never been so glad to see Chloe in my life. The second I saw her blue hair and that beautiful pissed off face, I wanted to kiss her again. And I couldn't even tell her where I had been, or why. It would be one more thing to alienate Chloe from me and the world. I had to get refocused on our search for Rachel. Chloe had been busy with her detective work while I was in my alternate timeline. Of course it was much easier for me to explore David's garage, since Joyce booted his ass out. That made Chloe more content, and I've just about seen her since I returned. I still feel kind of bad for David, but he overstepped his authority. Dismissed. And it's so much easier to grab David's X-Files when he's not there. After we gathered our new info, like Halloween treats, I loved watching Chloe go into Sherlock mode while we examined all of our clues on our big old drawing board. Of course, we all know that she's more of a Dr. Watson, right? Elementary. Honestly, with all the impending doom and sadness, I felt so happy, just to find myself back in action with my best friend and her butterfly blue hair. Hella yes! But first things first, I really had to go and see Kate. I've never visited anybody in the hospital before, much less anybody who's tried to commit suicide, so I was happy Chloe wanted to come along for support. Antiseptic, okay. smell and the endless white halls always kind of weird me out. Or maybe I'm just projecting my own fear of morality. When I saw Kate in her room, surrounded by cards, flowers, and balloons, all I could think of was when I saw her the last time, on the roof. Her face was so sad and sincere and helpless. But now she had more life in her than I'd seen in a long time. I had no idea what to say to somebody in a situation like this. How are you after you almost jumped off a roof? But Kate's general spirit made it easy. I was overjoyed to see that she was drawing again and making plans for the future, including plans to get justice for what happened to Nathan, or for what Nathan Prescott had done to her. Or what I call revenge. Yeah, we need get revenge. So after getting the inside info and assist from the other members of our team, Chloe and I made our way to the boys' dorm, aka Nathan's lair. Chloe stood guard out in the hall, and I stealthed my way into Nathan's room. And even though I've become a master spy and detective, I still get surprised by things I see or find, like Nathan's sleek, expressionist bro cave. It was like walking from light to shadow in a single step. I swear I couldn't feel the temperature drop the second I walked in. But then Nathan knows photography, and he knows you have to keep the film and equipment chilled. I store my instant film hoard in Mr. Jefferson's classroom. Speaking of cold stuff, Nathan's room was layered in creepy shit. The disturbing but impressive photos, all the evidence from his father's bullying, and probably the most important clue we could ever find, Nathan's phone, like loaded with messages and mysteries. It's not a good thing that I've internalized spying and stealing so casually over the past week. Everyday hero, am I right? Sorry guys, I need a drink. My throat's getting really dry by just speaking. Alright. We're almost done. We only got like 9 more pages here. Alright. And that's when Nathan Prescott showed up. He looked so wild-eyed and out of control that I felt a twinge of sympathy that he clearly needed help. But then I remembered he was also an asshole and had been extremely dangerous to me, Chloe, and Kate. So before I had to rewind, Warren entered the scene and my white knight headbutted Nathan in perfect payback. I couldn't believe it. Neither could Nathan. In fact, Warren literally started to go ape all over Nathan's face. It wasn't cool. But my nerves were so frayed from the week and I was so over all the Blackwell bullies that I almost didn't want to stop Warren from beating Nathan into the floor. Warren has his own issues to work out with Nathan, but this wasn't the time or place. Even if Nathan deserved it, and I would have been happy to watch Warren show him who was a Blackwell boss now. After that dorm brawl, Chloe and I headed to the beach to deal with Frank and see if we could get him to join us. I had to be careful and not get him all tweaked out. He was pretty pissed that someone had gotten into his RV and borrowed his account book, but once he saw that we didn't care about drugs or money, only Rachel, he mellowed out. All I could think was I'm trying to get a drug deal to help me find a missing girl. Incredibly, Frank actually agreed to help. He knows how naive and clueless we are, so I hope that our sincerity swayed him. I'm still unsure about him, and I can't be so naive not to keep my rewind guard up. I don't know much about him except that he sells drugs, has a wicked temper, and that he loved Rachel even more than his beans. So we got to add another member to our team. Booyah! We got Frank. Alright. My life feels so surreal at this point, I don't know how to react anymore. I can rewind time and space, but is it aging me before my own time and space? Am I learning things I shouldn't, messing up too much shit, including my own history? Obviously, my nosebleeds and dizzy spells are a bad sign that I'm overusing my powers, and it's become almost part of my nature. Or maybe a habit. Power corrupts? Not yet, I hope. I remember this famous episode of the original Star Trek, where Kirk has to go back in time and let the person he loves die, so the Nazis won't win the war. What kind of fucked up choice is that? What would have happened if I had not been in the school bathroom to save Chloe that day? But damn it, I was there and thus I was supposed to be there. Destiny. And the fact that we were able to convince Frank to actually help us gives the most hope I've had in a while. Yes, Chloe and I were stupid to confront Frank like that, considering how he reacted before, but I don't see how anyone could say he didn't really love Rachel Amber. He shouldn't have pulled a knife on Chloe though, and I don't like that he sells all those dangerous meds to teenagers, especially Nathan. He needs psychiatric supervision, not just baggies of pills. At least he won't be going to Frank again. I still don't know why Chloe or even Rachel would want to hang out with Frank, but I can't suss that out anymore. Maybe if I hadn't left town, I'd be less judgmental. But now we have Nathan's phone, David's coordinates, Frank's account book, and a big board of clues, which brings us closer to finding Rachel Amber. Finally, so maybe the tide is finally turning, or time is finally turning. This is the moment where all the clues come together and we finally have a location outside of town that may lead us straight to Rachel Amber and beyond. After everything that happened with Frank, I had to convince Chloe to keep going forward with me, since I do feel we're at the end of the road, hopefully not the end of the world. But whatever anger Chloe has inside her that makes her so self-destructive is matched by her balls and bravery. Yes, Chloe has gotten me nearly killed, but I know she would die for me. And I can't forget I put her in a wheelchair to slowly die in another reality. And Chloe is more focused now than before. I told her we have to keep moving forward no matter what, and I couldn't find Rachel on my own. That was enough. Now it's time to shine a light into the dark room. Alright. Chloe and I loaded up our coordinates and hit the road. We were both quiet. Yes, excited. It's hard to explain the feeling. Even with all the horrible things happening, I found myself thinking that Chloe and I were part of something greater, some greater mystery that involved time, space, and all of our fates. I've never had so much faith, not the Kate Marsh kind anyway, but I couldn't believe we were being set up for doom after everything that's happened this week. But I wasn't prepared for the dark room. The coordinates led us to an old abandoned farm owned by a Prescott family, and I shouldn't have been surprised that it was actually housing a weird secure bunker that was filled with Prescott memorabilia, and worse. If there was evil ground zero, this place was it. Cupboards filled with named red binders that confirmed our worst nightmares. Not that I even had any clue that our amateur detective work would lead us to this kind of professional hell. When I saw the binder marked Victoria, my heart started pounding like a jackhammer. Then I had a real clue about what was coming. I don't even want to think about the images we saw of Kate Marsh posed unconscious with that motherfucker, Nathan Prescott. She did know the truth about what happened to her, even if she couldn't remember all of the awful details. And then Rachel Amber. Delicately composed photographs of her drugged all over Nathan like some kind of sick goth couple. I couldn't bear to look at Chloe's face as she looked at the photos of her abused angel. I felt nauseated. All the hope I was feeding Chloe felt like vapor, and then we saw exactly where Nathan had taken his vicious layout with poor Rachel, in the junkyard. We finally found Rachel Amber, dead and buried. I'm sorry, Rachel. I'm sorry, Chloe. I'm sorry, Kate. I'm sorry, William. Fuck you, Arcadia Bay. High school should be the best years of your life. I've heard over and over from my parents and other experts. Fuck do they know? Tell that to Rachel Amber, or Kate. I've never seen Chloe so cold and hard. She won't let go of the gun. So we have to find Nathan before Chloe kills him. And if that happens, it will be hard to rewind. But we're as close to the end of this nightmare as possible, so I have to block out those images of Kate Marsh and Rachel Amber that will be burned into my retinas forever. I don't know what that word is. Alright. There's still a final secret to uncover, and nothing is going to stop us now, not even a goddamn tornado. Chloe and I pulled up to Blackwell's parking lot and arrived at the end of the world party. Oh, the irony. We had to get rid of poor Warren fast, who wanted to bask in his alpha glory and hang out with Chloe and me. I can't put another one of my friends in danger. So bizarro to see all these students dressed up in expensive outfits or pre-Halloween costumes, talking and laughing and smoking and drinking, as if there wasn't a serial killer going to the same party, or the town wasn't in eco-danger. As if to remind me of Arcadia Bay's ticking doomsday clock, I actually saw 2 moons in the sky over the horizon. Or that's what it looked like briefly before the clouds rolled over. I squinted and actually rubbed my eyes like a dork just to make sure my iris wasn't foggy. Was this another sign of an environmental illusion? Other people saw it too, except Chloe didn't see anything besides vengeance. So she went into the gym looking for Nathan because I could catch up. Nathan doesn't know that he's running out of time. No irony intended. We are. Sorry guys, I need another drink. Oh, my throat. My throat is actually hurting right now, so I'm putting all my effort into this. Alright. My first and last Vortex Club party. Flashing lights and DJ Doom, no comment, spinning. In an alternate reality, I might have been at this party, standing in the corner, shy and nervous, waiting for somebody to ask me to dance, but being terrified if that happened. And that would have been the limits of my problems. Now look at me. But I had to find Chloe first, then Nathan before she shot him. No matter how evil I thought Victoria was, she's actually just a terrible, insecure person with talent, passion, and tendency to be a cruel dick for no good reason. I have to see beyond our petty mean girl drama and assume she has a role to play in all this too. So we talked like humans. We talked like human beings, and I warned her, without specifics about Nathan. She believed me, and it felt so warm to make a connection with my previous enemy. A silver of light in all this darkness. Let there be more. October 11th, I guess. I watched Chloe die again. Killed by my favorite teacher. Why? Because we were stupid and let Jefferson trick us with a phony text? So we ended up back at the junkyard, and fell right into his trap. We should have called the police the second we found Rachel, but I had gone along too far with Chloe. I keep thinking I'm invincible, that I'm a real everyday superhero, but no, I'm just Max Caulfield. Maybe all my powers are an accident of fate, or am I being punished like Chloe? What have we done to deserve all this pain? What did Rachel do to Kate? Or no, what did Rachel do? Kate? William? Then there's Mark Jefferson. I can't ever call him Mr. again. I'm still shocked that he turned out to be one hiding behind the dark room. But if I think back on those pictures of time, Jefferson has been dropping hints all along. It makes me sick to think how long he's been doing this so far. This for, and to whom. The needle. I can still feel the needle on my skin. Thank God I can't remember Jefferson posing me for most of his sick session. Imagine all those other people who had to suffer through that horror, like Rachel and Kate. That made me determined to get out of that room, at least to stop him and save Chloe. I had to use my focus rewind on multiple photos, so often that I even got confused. Worse still, I knew I was screwing around with the various realities again, but I had no other choice. Chloe would not die in a junkyard next to Rachel Amber, and there was no fucking way I was going to let Jefferson be the last person I ever saw. It's hard to even imagine myself in that studio alone with Jefferson. Acting like that, everything was so neat and sterile. But it felt like the filthiest place on earth. If I didn't have this ability to bend time, what would I have done? What could I have done? Sometimes I felt removed, like I was looking at myself going through this hell. But thanks to Jefferson's class photo, he personally helped me to escape. I also feel so terrible that Victoria had to end up here with me, just because I warned her about Nathan. I should have known that she would rush to Jefferson for protection. Instead, he kidnapped her and almost murdered her, because of me. I've never forgotten the way Jefferson looked at me, so cold and mean. I felt like I was on one of those awful true crime shows my mom binge watches. How does somebody become evil? He actually shot Chloe in the head, just like that. Motherfucker. I wish the police had taken Nathan in. After I told Principal Wells he drugged Kate. He might still be alive, and maybe he would have taken down Jefferson too. Oh, this is the last page. I can't believe I was able to focus and rewind into my selfie all the way back to art class on Monday. I turned in my photo for the contest, after I sent a text to David warning about Jefferson. Phew, the only reason I haven't had a total meltdown is the fact that I do have this incredible power. I have to use it right for once, and maybe never again. It was weird to be in class with Jefferson, like I wasn't just tortured by him in an underground bunker. I saw him for the first time as he is a creepy, manipulative psychopath filled with bullshit. He uses art and passion to seduce people, but behind that, there's nothing but hate and perversion. I only pray that I can fix this timeline, not fuck it up. Max to the future. It feels like I finally made things right. Chloe's alive. David Madsen became a real everyday hero by busting Jefferson and his dark room, along with Nathan and his father. The Prescotts have lost control of Arcadia Bay. Now I'm the official everyday hero on my way to San Francisco with Principal Wells, who is a lot more funny and laid back when he's not stressing about Blackwell Academy. It's hard for me to totally relax, but all those pieces of time seem to be falling into place. Whew. Alright. I feel like with that, I think that's the last journal entry in the game. I may very well be wrong. I feel like I'm wrong. But, like, in the chapters after this, or the parts in this episode after this, Jefferson burns the journal after, or it's like when we get back, he burns the journal, and you can't look at it again. Unless you're in the nightmare scene. And I'm not sure if it even works in the nightmare scene. I don't think I'm going to do it, though. If you, like, again, if you want to read, like, some of these journal entries, like, if there's ones after this, like, thing is, just play the game on your own. And you can get it. Because the journal entries can differ from the choices you make. So, my journal's not going to be the same as yours. So, I think I went over basically most, if not, like a giant chunk of the journal, and I feel like that's all we need to know. Now I'm gonna go through these profiles too, because throughout the game, throughout all the people you meet, you kind of just write things down about them. Alright, let's talk about Max. My name is Max Caulfield, and ever since I was a little kid, I knew I wanted to be a photographer. I've always seen the world through my own lens, my own lens finder. Maybe it's a way for me to be part of the world, but at a safe distance. For some reason, I was always drawn to old analog camera gear, rather than digital tech. I love all kinds of styles and techniques, but for me, the instant camera selfie is the one I love most. I don't care if people make fun of me or not. I'm in great company, right? And now I've come all the way back to my childhood home to study photography at Blackwell Academy, a private school for 12th grade seniors. On a scholarship even. I originally left behind Chloe, my best friend forever, at least until I left without talking to her once in 5 years, and it feels so weird to be back here without seeing her yet. I'm 18 now, an official adult, even though I don't always feel so wise or mature, and I'm ready to begin a whole new life with retro cameras at my side. Alright, so okay, that's Max's profile. We're just gonna go like left to right here. Mr. Jefferson. Our favorite teacher. Not only is Mark Jefferson one of the best photographers in the world, he's also my teacher, and one of the reasons I wanted to come to Blackwell. How often do you get to be mentioned by one of your inspirations? I've always loved his deco and goth style, and he's so versatile? I guess. With all of his incredible print and advertising work, still Jefferson can be a bit condensing. He's pretty hip for his age, but kinda aloof and sometimes pretentious. He has the smug smile when he thinks he's right, but I do think he's preparing for us how tough it is to be a full-time artist. He acts like he understands my own work and obsession with analog images. He really wants me to enter a photo in this Everyday Heroes contest, but I've done a good job of avoiding that. The winner gets to fly to San Francisco to represent Blackwell Academy and get national exposure. I'd like to think my work could be good enough to win, and I'm honored Mr. Jefferson even bugs me about the contest. And yeah, these are just notes we take down basically when we first meet the people in the game. So, like, we had no idea about Mr. Jefferson being the bad guy. Alright, Principal Wells. I can't figure out where Principal Wells is coming from. For some reason, he seems to be suspicious of me at all times. Who knew I was that much trouble? He wanted to know why I was zoning out in the halls. I stuttered like a fool. He has so much power over my scholarship. I get uber nervous around him. I've seen him laughing with other teachers and students, so I know he must have a problem with me. He also seems a little stressed out. I would be too if I had to oversee Blackwell and all its drama. I thought I smelled alcohol in his breath, but that could have been his cologne, right? But I remember my first meeting in his office, and he was so nice and made me feel like I was becoming a part of a special world. He said he hoped I would become a great photographer and someday return the favor to Blackwell. I thought that was a bit of a wishful thinking, but it made me feel good. I just need to lay low around him until I can somehow gain his trust. Alright. Another drink. Ah, my voice is so scratchy. Alright, Warren. Do I start left side? I guess. I knew if I gave Warren my phone, he would blow it up for science. He wants his flash drive back after letting me borrow it for less than a week. He told me to watch everything because he has a ton of cool TV shows and films out on there. Thank God it wasn't porn, and I am thankful for Warren. He's like a real friend and we share a lot of the same interests. He loves science, but he really understands art and appreciates great photography. Even though he says he loves my pictures, I can't tell if he's just being nice. Warren is a geek, but he definitely lets you know where he stands. I don't think he will ever lie to me. It feels good to have at least one strong ally the same age here. And he makes me smile. Alright, Chloe? Then there's Chloe Price. What do you say to your best friend after 5 years of silence? After finding out you saved her life in a bathroom? Nothing. I feel so lame for not staying in touch, or even text. I have no idea how to process seeing Chloe like this again. For one thing, she looks so similar, but so different. She's all grown up now, and it doesn't seem like she's only 1 year older than me. I absolutely love her blue hair and punk clothes. It makes sense she would become a rebel. She still kinda looks like a pirate, except one who stage dives. I know she's angry with me because of her body language. I'm glad I can still see the old Chloe in there. Or is that the young Chloe? I'm sure she's still messed up about her dad dying. I would be too. That was a terrible time for Chloe and Joyce. I feel bad because I wonder if I was happy to move away just to avoid the grief. Speaking of grief, it's clear she's all mixed up with Nathan Prescott's shit. I have no idea what's going on between them, but I'm going to find out, no matter what. And we got Kate. I've forgotten if I've ever seen Kate Marsh smile or laugh in the past month. She's really sweet and nice, even though the other students make fun of her abstinence campaign. Even if they act immature, everybody at Blackwell are seniors, not high school freshmen. She gets a lot of shit she gets a lot of shit, in fact. I know she's involved in a lot of religious groups, but she doesn't preach to me, so I don't care. But she's been extra quiet and introverted the past couple weeks. She looks like she's in zombie mode. I wish I could help her, but I can barely help myself. I wonder if all that bullying has worn her down. I could see how it would. I have to make the effort to talk to her more often. Maybe invite her to tea or a movie. Although she's an adult, I bet she's not allowed to watch R-rated films. Victoria. Then there's Victoria Chase, the elite of Blackwell Academy and a total bitch, and I hate saying that. I just don't know why somebody who's so rich and beautiful needs to be so fucking mean. 18 years old at a prestigious academy evolving into artists and scholars, not reality show contestants. Victoria does everything for maximum drama. She actually wastes her time calling me out in class and taunting Kate Marsh. For reals, I wish your parents could see her in action. They'd cut off that trust fund fast. Then again, she's in the Vortex Club, and they seem to own the school, so maybe that's why she doesn't give a shit. The odd thing is that she doesn't know art and photography. She can even say all those French names that break my tongue. Her work is a little cold, but she has a good eye. She also has an eye for Mr. Jefferson, which is so obvious that I'm embarrassed for her. She does everything but sit in his lap. He keeps his distance though. We can all tell she's trying to win the Everyday Heroes contest. I'm sure it drives her crazy when there's somebody she can't buy or seduce. Ha! Okay, Rachel. Where's Rachel Amber? Even though Blackwell Academy feels so remote and tranquil, you still get sad reminders of reality, like missing person posters literally wallpapered all over the campus. I already know her name through osmosis. I guess she was a popular student here and vanished 6 months ago. Rachel has a great picture on her missing person poster. She looks posed and pretty like a model. Of course I wonder who took the photo. Did she run away from home? I'd like to hope so. For her sake, it's so depressing and I feel awful for her parents. What a shitty thing to go through. Huh. Sigh. No matter how much Blackwell seems like a secret bubble of knowledge, you can't escape the real world. Joyce. Talking to Joyce Price after 5 years was almost as intense as seeing Chloe again, especially right back in ye old Two Whales Diner. That clinking of silverware and the smell of sizzling bacon rewound me back to being a kid. Hanging out there with my parents for breakfast. I remember her always smiling at Chloe, even in mischief. Doubt she smiles at her hijinks now, but they still ban her like mother and daughter. I moved to Seattle so soon after William died that I never saw how it affected Joyce. I'm glad she's not pissed at me for being selfish and never looking back. I still remember the last time Chloe and I saw him alive. I wonder how often Joyce relives that day. That's the worst kind of rewind. One you can't control. But if I could go back to that moment, what would I do? I can only imagine how Joyce ended up with David Madsen. Talk about opposites. You could tell she loves him, disturbing as that sounds. Maybe she just wanted a more structured life for herself. Obviously, it didn't work out that way with Chloe. I hope they both treat her right. Joyce deserves the best. Frank, hold on, guys. Another drink. I'm gonna lose my voice today for sure. I haven't talked this much in so long. Alright. I'll never forget Frank if only because he's the first and last person I'll ever aim a gun at. How did Chloe end up in this sketchy drug dealer's orbit? The weird thing is that when I first saw him threatening Chloe in the junkyard, I was more shocked how uncreepy he looked. I expected some try-hard gangster, but he looked more like a dumpster diving troll. Alright, which I guess he kinda is silent. We were on his turf, testing out my rewind skills for Chloe's amusement. Though he didn't look like a serial killer, his vibe, aura, energy, whatever, was bad. I could literally feel the hair on my arms prickling. He wanted the money Chloe owed him, so it didn't make sense he would hurt her. But I wasn't going to take a chance. So yes, I actually threatened him with David's gun. Ridiculous. Fortunately, none of us ended up like Reservoir Dogs, and I saw that maybe Frank isn't as scary as I thought. But I don't want Chloe near him ever again. Since he was wearing one of Rachel Amber's bracelets for WTF reasons, I doubt Chloe will be partying with him anymore. But he's at the top of our suspect list now. Nathan. Just when I thought Victoria Chase would be the worst of my social problems, now I have to deal with Nathan Prescott. But I guess he was the only one who triggered my crazy rewind power by shooting that girl in the bathroom. He's 19 and already a scary fucking prick. I guess I have a little advantage on Nathan by being able to manipulate time, but if he shoots me, I may not be able to reverse anything. I have to be careful around him, especially since he's obviously got friends in high places, as his family last name is practically branded on every building here at Blackwell. His money against mine. On one hand, I do kind of feel bad for Nathan, because he doesn't seem to be in control, like he's doped up or over-medicated. On the other, he's an asshole who nobody has called out. And he almost killed, or did kill, a girl on campus. Should I go straight to the police? What do I say about my rewind power? Like I'd say anything. I just have to watch my own back from now on. Oh, school days. And last but not least, last and least. Alright. Whoa, I swear that security guard is the biggest ass here. And that's saying a lot. He always treats everybody like they've committed a crime or they're about to commit one. He grilled me in the hall today and I thought he was going to arrest me. I don't know much about him, but I heard he was kicked out of the army or something. So, of course he would end up at Blackwell Academy in charge of security. Weren't you supposed to feel, I don't know, secure on campus? Bro dude swaggers everywhere with that badge and gun like he's looking to tase somebody. He would make a good photo portrait of authority though. Who does a guy like that marry? I feel sorry for his family. It would be like living in a barracks. Shudder. Just another person I have to avoid at Blackwell. Collect them all. So this was before she even found out that this is David Madsen, Joyce's husband. Alright. Alright, these are just photos. And those are places we've been. I'm not gonna do all that.
Max, you did it. Somehow.
Alright.
From the dark room to this gallery.
We don't need to be here. We're done. Alright. We did it. I read through all that. God, that was painful. Alright. Alright, yeah, we showed the alternate ending. We went through like all the journal entries, if not most. Most of the journal entries. I guarantee you there's more out there. But I'm not going to do that right now. Yeah, that's it. That's the final episode for Life is Strange for me. There might be one more coming out, and it's just gonna be a funny moments episode. So it's not gonna be like me live commentating. It's just gonna be it's just gonna be a compilation of funny clips from this series. So this is it here. And again, just like I said in episode 5, it's a bit sad to be leaving this game. But then again, I am gonna be starting Before the Storm very soon, and I'm very excited about that. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the series. I hope my voice recovers, because I was going to plan to record something after this too, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I'm losing my voice right now, so I'm just going to end this video now. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the series. It's been a very fun ride. I love this game to death. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.